So if you watched my last episode, then you've already seen my vision board for this year. Very recently completed, and I may report, it has already started to come to fruition. So as I have started to prepare for my big move back out west, I decided I would go to some of my favorite spots and see some of my favorite people, so I made a little trip to Asheville. And here I am at Citizen Vinyl. They actually make records here. You can watch them being manufactured, and you can buy a record. It's a cafe, high ceilings, big open space with bright light. There was even a guy playing some live music, so I just kind of sat down on my computer, where I ended up applying for a place to live in my dream spot. Very happy to report that that has manifested. So amen to the interesting people who do creative things like this for people like me to discover. And this place was fantastic. Oh, I love that big disco ball. I talked to the owner, who was also DJing at the time, and he said he had gotten that in New York. And there are also all these other little disco balls hanging from the ceiling, and just the music was great, cool vibe. Those are a couple of my friends I've known for literally decades. So it was nice to stay with them, and at night I ended up doing a little research for the different areas I had been considering living. And then the next day, I ended up meeting up with one of my very best friends, very oldest friend, and Sharon. Met up with her, a mutual friend of ours, also named Lisa, who is an excellent massage therapist in Asheville. Moonjata is her company. And this sign, this is a positive sign next to a hula hoop. And then when I got back to Winston-Salem, there was a sign in a spot that I'd probably driven past a million times saying, "You're on the right path." One of the blessings of spending a lot of extra time where I grew up in North Carolina in recent years has been being around for the birth of a nephew and a niece and another niece and lots of birthdays. Here's my stepmom Susan dancing with my dad at her birthday party at this beautiful place called Founders in downtown Winston-Salem. And then my friend Jason Howard, who lives in Nashville and is a music producer, guitarist, singer. We've worked together many, many times. He sent me a text and he said, I'm going to be performing with Twitty and Lynn in Reidsville. Is that near you? Well, it's about an hour from Winston-Salem, and I had never been to downtown Reidsville before, and they were going to be performing in an old theater, and you know how I love those, and live music, and Jason is just a really nice guy. And I'd actually seen them perform one other time in Liberty, North Carolina. So it was going to be nice to see them all again, and I was excited to make the trip. So I got there early and got to explore a little bit. You know how I like to do that. And then I was also able to go backstage and have a little bit of a reunion with my friend Jason. There he is. Tayla has an incredible voice. And there's Jason on stage with her. And of course, Trey channels his inner Grandpa Twitty's charm, and the ladies go wild. And Tayla's funny, and she tells stories, and they banter on together. I love live music. And man, he totally hit that. Don't take it away. So when my brother Joel found out that I was going to be heading back to Los Angeles soon, he decided to come up for a visit with one of my nephews. And it was his idea to go by our old alma mater, Mount Tabor High School, and try to see my plaque in the Hall of Fame. And then we went over to my dad and Susan's. So even though my dad spends all day in his store, the Train Loft, with a train layout there and lots of train stuff. If you go by his house, probably the first thing he's going to want to do is show you his train layout. And there is so much to see.
Here's your order. That'll be $1.15. Thanks. You're welcome. Come again soon.
Wow. In these days leading up to my road trip heading back to Los Angeles, I keep coming across local brands. I opened up the fridge at my dad's only to find good old Texas Pete. And then my nephew probably asked 6 times for Biscuitville. My brother's a big fan, really all of my siblings, so we eventually went. And then my mom got me a croissant from Bobby Boy, chocolate of course, and they're up for a James Beard Award, so congratulations to them. And balancing out my chocolate addiction, I've been going to yoga more than ever. This beautiful mural is on the building at Aware. So I just took a class today, and I have some classes scheduled at the Breathing Room, which I've collaborated with over the last 2 years. Lots of things that I'm kind of soaking in before I'm out in California. And I am glad that after spending a lot of time researching places to stay along Route 66, I have everything booked now. I did a post on Facebook asking for recommendations of places to stop, and someone said Hot Springs, Arkansas. I had never been to Hot Springs. Well, I've never been to Arkansas, and honestly, I never really knew of anything in particular to go see there, and it's just been a great discovery, so I'm looking forward to stopping there. My first stop, though, will be in Nashville, and I have Jason, who you saw earlier in this episode, who lives there, as well as another dear friend, Jessica. So it'll be great to have my very first stop be a visit with a friend. And then after that, I'll be stopping in Apache, Oklahoma, where I have another friend, this amazing trick roper. He also carves things out of wood with chainsaws. I met him out in Montana. We both had many gigs there over a period of many years and have stayed in touch. And so I'm really excited to see him. He's got a ranch there, and I'll probably see some of the work that he's done. He carved a dancer out of a tree, for example. So I've seen the photos. Now I'll probably see those in person. So yeah, never been to Oklahoma. Looking forward to that. And then after that, I'll go to Tucumcari, which looks like a place where there's just these like quintessential little Route 66 motels. I was kind of bummed. I tried to book at the Safari Motel. It looked really neat. But it turns out they're closed all of February. So that's not happening. But in any case, I found a place. I've found all sorts of affordable little cute spots along the way. The last one being in Flagstaff, Arizona. Makes me think of that song, Flagstaff, Arizona. I'm not really sure what the rules are about how many words you can sing before there's a copyright issue. So, reminded of that. If you hop on I-40 in Wilmington, North Carolina at the Atlantic Ocean, or somewhere nearby in North Carolina, and you just head west and you keep on a trucking, you'll wind up by a sign that says Route 66 End in Santa Monica. And I have stood by that sign many times. It's been really meaningful knowing that essentially I have homes at 2 ends of the same street, from one coast to another. And even though this time I'll be leaving in the winter and have to have that top up for a long while, once I hit California, that top will come down and I'll feel the warm sun on my skin again.